I'm James J. and I designed and built the sets for To Boldly Flee. I think it took about 3 months to design and to at least design the sets. I met with Rob and Doug, or at least they first contacted me in October of 2011 and asked me if I would design and build the sets, and I said sure. And I think I met with them in November, and they took me to the two major locations that they were going to be filming at and told me what they had in mind. And I took some pictures and some measurements and started getting materials ready around that time and started sketching out a few of the designs. But the bulk of the construction had to be done just about 2 or 3 weeks prior to filming, because I didn't have access to the actual locations really until that time, because majority of it was filmed in people's homes. So yeah, the prep was about 2 months probably, but then the actual construction was about 2 to 3 weeks. I think with at least the last 2-year anniversaries, the year 2 and year 3, I think a bulk of it was filmed outdoors, which causes a lot of problems. Like with weather restrictions. I think they probably took that into account. Most of this one was filmed indoors, so it's a lot easier to film in a controlled environment if you have actual sets. And with as quickly as we have to film, that just makes it more advantageous for us. So I think that was probably the main reason. That, and it's sci-fi based, so a lot of it was, spaceships and indoor type sets anyway. So the hardest set was probably the Zod and Turtle set. We had one day, I think, to shoot all of that, and it was a new construction, new home, whatever. So it was working with. We had to be a little more delicate, I guess, with how we moved around, and we all had to basically just be in our socks. But I remember that being probably a little bit more arduous of a shoot, because we had so much to film in such a short time. Probably the Executor set. It was very warm. It was very in that set, and that one went well into the late hours. But it was also that was a little more confined, that set too. That was one of the smaller sets. But yeah, that was probably the hardest one. I think my favorite set to film on was the bridge set. That one was the most complete, in my opinion. I think it felt the most like a set. I think that one came together the best, and mostly in part, I think that was the one that I had the most time to work on. And that was the one set that I got some help on. If it hadn't been for Doug and Rob's father, Barney, I don't think that set would have come out nearly as good as it did. So thank you, Barney, for all of your help on making that set just come out great.